Well, welcome to the Monday night webinar. I'm Candace Frazier, your sales manager, brand ambassador, and we also have Shannon Hall and our guest speaker, Lisa Schultz from Chicago Title. We're going to talk today about using AI in real estate. All right, so we're going to get started. And I think the biggest thing is how can Chat GPT help a real estate agent that's trying to ramp up or improve their business? And I think all of us are always working on improving our business in some sort of way. And so Shannon and I want to go over some of these bullet points and just ideas that you can use Chat GPT for. So marketing and lead generation, you can generate engaging posts. You can actually ask ChatGPT, what is an engaging post? Or if you have an idea of something that you want to post, you can actually say, hey, chat, I am wanting to share this. How can I make sure that it's engaging? Or how can I make sure that I'm highlighting market trends? Email campaigns, right? Effective drip campaigns. You can do newsletters through ChatGPT, blog posts, SEO content. So, and then write compelling copy for Google ads and Facebook ad print material. This works for listing optimization. So I know for sure property descriptions, I basically put in there what I'm thinking and I'm like, chat, polish this up for a listing description. And it does it so nicely. Video and tour scripts.
Oh,
So
I've been
scripts
doing
for
this a
virtual
lot.
tours.
Yes. I mean, when you're at the property, if you have a bullet points of different things you want to emphasize about the community, we've got some samples I could share with you on things that are working, but I love this right now, where it gets it into basically your script of what to say on video. So you don't have a stage fright like many of us do in front of the camera.
Exactly.
Client communication, certainly, templates, scripts, market intelligence research. I mean, there's all sorts of different things on here. What's funny is that what you see on your screen is what we asked ChatGPT basically to pitch us on ChatGPT as a real estate agent. And what is it going to tell us about it? And this is what it gave us. And I told Candace, I go, I agree with 100% of every single thing.
Everything.
Every single
Yeah.
thing you see. The problem that most agents kind of have that they encounter is that they don't know where to start, or they get overwhelmed. And so they think that they can do everything and then they're not focusing in on really where they want to go. And I think really what we can use, tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and things like that for is to streamline some of the things that we would have had to do step by step or outsource or have other assistants and things like that with. And this is a tool to help you. And I would just urge you to pick one and then streamline that part of your process and then move to the next thing to streamline. So we're not going to get to all of this tonight. We have Lisa here to help us. She has, I believe she's got some things she wanted to run through, at least one segment of this. And if we need more time, I think we talked earlier, we're like, we might need a part 2 on this topic. And if we need that, that's okay. But Lisa, I think we're going to turn the time over to you a little bit here to go through some of your thoughts.
Awesome.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. AI is kind of a crazy little thing, and I am hoping this is just touching the tip of the iceberg. I want this to be interactive for you, and you guys are going to get some gifts from me. But first of all, I want to start with a quote from a local guy. Some of you, he's been in the news lately, Obi Jacoby Windermere, and he was asked in the Housing Wire podcast today, if you haven't heard it, he was asked about AI in the real estate business. And I loved what he said when he said, using AI is what we should be doing to figure out how to get rid of the things we shouldn't be doing. So just like Candace and Shannon talked about, if you're spending time doing something that AI could do faster, it's a great shift. What I wanted to talk a little bit about today is number one, we've got to be clear, there is not just one AI. When people talk chat GPT, a lot of people don't realize there are many, many, many forms of AI, and I'm going to give you a couple examples. Now, please feel free to jump in the chat, ask questions. And what we wanted to do, like we said earlier, is touch the tip of the iceberg and then maybe do a lunch and learn about how people are using AI, get some of you guys on a panel, as well as what I get to see at the national level. And I'll tell you a little bit about what AI is doing in title and escrow, because it's doing a lot. So first of all, as you see, there's not just one AI. Certain AI does certain functions, others AIs do other functions. So next slide. Dun, dun, dun. Shannon, can you hear me okay?
Got you.
Got you. Okay, so why do we care about AI? Here's the biggest thing that if you take anything away tonight, you need to plug in your bio and your information and make it AI ready. Because our people are now going to AI for their news, their data points, and asking questions. Who's the best broker in the Tukwila area? Who's the best person to deal with seniors selling their homes? If your keywords are not hitting AI, just like we do in Google and hashtags, you could be missing opportunities. So AI is there to help improve your visibility, analyze your data, takes your great ideas and gets them into mainstream. So for example, somebody puts up a buyer's presentation and says, hey, I want my buyer's presentation to focus on the retirees, people who are retiring and they want to buy their next forever home with a lot of luxury. Same exact post as, hey, take my buyer presentation and change it into a first-time home buyer presentation and add 5 or 6 posts to it. This is how AI can build these things in a matter of a minute or two, and you can modify it for authenticity. They adapt scripts. They can brainstorm with you. In the chat, you guys can take a look. I'm going to poll how many of you guys currently use AI in your real estate business? And then Shannon, if you can pop in and let us know all that good stuff, that would be great. Safina, yeah, ChatGPT can be your best friend. So I agree with that. The key is you can also go down the rabbit hole with stuff. Awesome. All of these people are saying, I use ChatGPT. I love you for doing that. Here's my next question. What are you using it for?
Mhm.
Because what I find is that we're not using it as much as we can to make our lives easier. Next slide. So back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth, we used to have our professional shop, Photoshop, and then we'd ask them, make me skinnier, make me bigger, and they'd like, oh, it's $30 for an edit. So I did this on Grok, and all I said was, make my body smaller. So the left side is before, my right side is after. So I'm much more proportioned than I was, and it was free. So Tammy, you're updating your bio, your marketing remarks. Jennifer, you're doing home description. Awesome. So how are we using it to analyze data or create questions for the buyer or the seller you're going to meet? How many of you use AI to find out more about your client?
Mhm.
Create
Ooh.
email talking points for a video. Perfect. Help me come up with a hook for social media. Perfect. So I did an example, but Grok blew me out of the way. And one of the examples I did, and you know what, actually, I'll do that at the end of share screen. But what are we using AI in title and escrow for? Let me give you an example. Some of you guys might use, if you're in the F&F family, you might hear of Farm Now or Active Farm. Next slide, please. So we use AI for property research. So what you can see, AI in property, this is just a CSV. Now, this has 1,000 homes in it. Next slide. It took those 1,000 people where we used to sort and filter and do all this. Now it can roll into multiple filters. So Shannon, next slide. And it can click in one click your turnover rate, your sales price, all that good stuff. Oh, can we go back a slide?
I got you.
And that's absolutely free. And now you can build a blog or you can build a data point to show that you are the expert in that area. Now, what AI can't do is it doesn't look at the specifics the way marketplace who might not know as much as you will use AI, but the master is you get to be the micro person who says, this is what AI says. You may see this, but this is what I see. So please try to use AI to enhance your business and your professional profile. Next slide, please. Dun, dun, dun. And then I'll take over the screen. So here's a listing description that I used for Zillow. I just pulled this listing description. This came from Zillow on the left side by the broker. And all I said was, Microsoft Pilot, please clean up and make it buyer friendly. And it turned what that left side did and moved it to the right, which I felt was much cleaner. Some of the language was better. And you guys on this call, I feel like you are using this quite regularly for these kinds of things. Shannon, can I take the screen from you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So really quickly, I'm going to show you on screen 2, and this is not a commercial, but I want you to see what AI is doing. So I took a farm, and there's the stats, and we talked about that a minute ago. But out of this farm, the complete farm, I can show you that there are 1,000 houses in here. Maybe today, maybe not today. Okay, we're not going to show that in a minute. And it can turn around and it can turn it into AI generated who is going to be my active buyer or my active seller. It can sort rentals. It can do all sorts of things for you in that system. I love live presentations. So with AI, how do we use it in title and escrow? Your title reports in most companies now, your title report is reviewed through AI. It looks at old deeds, contracts, and it will decide whether to put things in or not. Now, what's really cool about this is our human interaction sits back and says, no, we need to keep that in that title report, or we need to push it out. But in documents, it's going in and searching other things. So where we used to have title officers or research assistants looking for divorce cases or death certificates in multiple states where it could take hours or days to get stuff, AI is able to pull those data banks and it's cutting our time drastically. So a lot of our research and findings are being pulled into from AI, and then we're able to make human decisions on real estate. So once again, it's saving us a huge amount of time. Now, for everybody on the call today, you get this very cool form. I did a lot of research. I hope you enjoy it. And this is how the breakdown is. I want to make sure. Can you guys see how I can use these tools?
Yeah, ChatGPT, Gemini, what is it?
Yep.
cost? Yeah.
So here's just a sample of some of the different ones and their pricing and what their specialty is. So you'll all get that. I'm going to send it over to Shannon tonight. And how I can use these tools. How do you use them? What are they for? Okay. If you haven't been on Facebook lately, they've got Meta AI. So if you've got a Facebook or Instagram account, you get free Meta AI. It will do your photos, it'll do enhancements, it'll clean up your lighting, it will also help you with your posts. I'm trying to attract this level or this age of buyer or out of states. Please make me a couple posts on that. And the more you use it, the more it likes you and the more it gets to know you. Are there any questions so far?
I have one quick one. Are you going to make your presentation available so we can go through and read it again?
Absolutely. Was I going too quick? I'm sorry.
No,
Apologies.
We can send
I'm
it
just-
to everybody, Lisa, so that way everybody can read it.
yeah, I'm just not I
Absolutely.
don't understand this stuff very well, so I need to go over and read it a couple more times.
Yeah, no, happy to send you my presentation and my slides. And then as I show you with Active Farm, this is one of the things you can do. So I pulled Lisa's Easter farm. I did an Easter egg hunt with somebody. There's a 1,392 records. Now, the old way we used to do postcards, we used to do all sorts of crazy stuff. Now I can go under Complete Farm and do what they call a gold farm. This is AI at work. What's it doing? It is looking at the social behavior of these people living in this neighborhood, and it's come out with 62 people that have the highest likelihood of selling. So if you're gonna use your money wisely, lean into AI so that you can hit the most responsive people possible. So that's just a couple different things. So other things you can use AI for, you guys are doing it already. You're using it for staging, possible virtual staging. You're using it for neighborhood videos. You're using it for questions on what's the highest thing a buyer is looking for in the Mount Lake Terrace area today. What's the highest price point that we have in Bellevue that's recently sold? So these are the kinds of things that you can quickly become accustomed to when using AI. So pretty much. And then I'll send you the presentation. Was there anything else? You guys, I had a slide for you, but the ladies covered it. There's so many different things you can use AI for. One of the things that I do is I use my chat GPT, or I also use Claude, CLAUDE, for data analytics. And I had a conversation with Claude, and I just did role playing with it. I'm like, Claude, I'm a title rep. I want to help my brokers build the Silver Tsunami campaign. How do I get appointments to meet with them? And it said, okay, do you want me to be a mean agent or a nice agent? And I drove from Portland up here playing and role playing and dealing with my objections. So don't be afraid to play with AI as a role player, as well as give me a lot of objections why you don't want to use me as a broker. So just keep playing with it. The more you get into it, the more comfortable you are, and have some fun with it. And just remember, it hasn't taken over the world yet, but make sure it's your friend when it does. But it really can't in real estate.
Yeah, I agree. Is it going to take over our industry? No. No, it won't. And there's reasons for that. There's certain elements that AI cannot duplicate or replicate. But it is something that we need to embrace because it's not going away and it is ramping up. Even since it was first introduced, it's ramped up considerably. It's gotten so much better. So it's not going away. So we want to leverage it. There's a lot of data statistics out there for consumers on how they view AI and if certain companies are using it versus not. And the rising trend. We got to accept it. It's like
And
And what's so,
yeah,
oh,
go
go
for it.
ahead. I have to laugh because I had a PowerPoint presentation I sent to Shannon and she dressed mine up. And I will tell you, last week when I was asked to do this, I said I ran mine through AI and I did my outline. And then I said, okay, dress up my slides. So my original presentation that I'll send to you, Shannon played and made this very pretty. I did it my way, and then I did it AI's way to show the difference of how you can take something and within 7 minutes, AI can turn your slide colors, your logos, your branding and everything. And it's just give me an outline and let me build it for you. And then you modify it.
Right.
Right.
It's the skill set shouldn't be a barrier at this point. It's more
Right.
just the implementation. Yeah. I think we had a couple things we wanted to run through real fast that Candace and I certainly wanted to touch on because I know we've got a couple extra minutes here for time. So Lisa, hopefully you're good to ride or die with us here for a couple more minutes.
I'd love to.
But,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And her information's here. If you want to, Lisa, if you also want to put your number in the chat, I think that might be helpful for some people here. But Lisa is with Chicago Title, and I know that she would be happy to meet with any of you here on the call. So you can kind of go through some of the active farm things that are working really well, or anything else kind of title related in that respect too. So a couple things, just quick things. Candace and I were just like quickly putting stuff together. We're like, okay, what if we had only one slide to put something together for our meeting, what would we say? And Candace's visual right on top, I think you wanted to speak to this, right, Candace?
Yes. So, I use AI quite often. But one thing that I wanted to point out, this little snippet here where it says add this prompt to the end of your prompts. So make sure the responses match my tone, my writing style, my conversation. Make sure it's engaging. Sometimes I want it to be engaging. Sometimes I want it to be clear, straight to the point. So it's okay. No M dashes. I mean, the AI is full of the M dashes, and that's one thing that's like, let's pull that out because I think it just gives it away. And I always want to make it sound like myself as well. So sometimes you'll put in items in AI and it'll spit out something that's like, good and well, that's not you. And your clients will know that that did not come from you, friends, family, whoever. So the post. So you can actually use prompts within ChatGPT to say, personalize this, take out extra formal language, avoid fluff, different things like that, just to make it a little bit more to your tone, your style, and how you would actually want that to come out. So
Yeah.
I
love
that's
that.
one thing that I wanted to point out.
It's you pummel it with data. So, I mean, if you were to take something like this, if you gave ChatGPT's bullet points of something you wanted it to do, I need to create a bio for myself. Let's start with something super simple. And then you added this paragraph, and then maybe you supplied a sample of what you've done in the past or someone that you liked that has emulates something that has been done. Use the little button to upload some other documents. I mean,
Yeah.
what's different compared to Google searches versus AI is that it'll take everything in a whole. It'll read everything that you give it, however much you give it. The more you give it, the better the response it will be, because it's kind of like, I don't know, if Candace asked me a quick question, I'd say, oh yeah, that, just do that. It was just a quick question. But if she said, hey, Shannon, I put some thought around this and da 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 da, of course I'm going to be a lot more thoughtful in my response, and making sure that she has more detail, more content in that respect. So AI is no different. The more you give it, the better the results will be. I think so in the bio example, like put in more and then you'll get some more options that you can get out of it. The history is important too. So the more you use it, what Lisa's kind of talking about, the more you use it. They have it set up. So if you're using ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever it is that you're using, they have like different topics that you can have for yourself. And the more you use it, the more it kind of can adopt some of those, idiosyncrasies and things like that make you sound like you. So that way it can adopt some of that, and it just gets better the more you use it, because it has more data to analyze. One thing I've found helpful, and Candace, you've done this I think before too, is I like getting options. So for me, when I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, I need 3 different scenarios, or I need 3 different examples of this, or I need 3 different headers, or 3 different topic names, or something like that. Getting options sometimes is helpful, rather than just a gut reaction saying, oh, I don't like what ChatGPT gave me. Give it
Right.
some options to choose from and rifle through, and then tell it if you wanted it to edit it down or pare it down further. But that's something I found has been really helpful, is just to give me options. So that way I don't feel like I'm only getting one. I have a helpful visual here, that is kind of like old content process versus new content process. And I think AI is not going away, and it is helping us streamline processes. But I think what people forget, so the way that it used to be done, if you were, writing an article or doing a blog post back in the day, or doing a newspaper article or press release, we had to go through different steps. This is what writers would do. They'd have to topic, they'd have to research it. They're spending time and time and time on these. With AI, it does condense it severely, but what most people forget about is this lovely little step 4, where it says edit, fact check, add voice, tone, style, images, links. I mean, basically how you would respond. Otherwise, it's not really you that's writing it, it's AI. And there's a lot of AI chat, like basically fact checkers out there. People can figure out very quickly whether or not it was you that wrote it, or if it was an AI that wrote it. But so I guess my word of caution is, don't skip step 4 before you hit publish. And that goes for your marketing remarks. That goes for your bio. That goes for anything else that you're using ChatGPT for. It's important to have that human element in there.
Let's see here. We've got some things in the chat too.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, somebody asked, Lisa, which AI tool did you use for the presentation?
Mine was a combination. So when I did the presentation, I used Gemini. And the only
Gemini.
reason I like to lean into Gemini more is because it's owned by Google, and it's not proven, but I believe it helps my SEO if I'm staying in the Google space.
Give it the
Oh.
Google juice. Yeah, that's funny.
Let's
Yeah.
see here. Abby says she also uses it to translate the content, and it's pretty darn accurate. She asks it to integrate keywords that increase her SEO ranking on Google Post. Love it.
Yeah, I've done that before
Let's see
too. It
here.
works.
Yeah, and then taking the blog and creating it into AI to make a podcast out of data or information. Yeah, a blog or a podcast. That's amazing. I mean, it was funny because I've been working on my bio. So I kind of like took my old bio and said, hey, Chat, I want to update it with, I want to speak more to millennials. And boy, I tell you, what it spit out was just so different than kind of what I would. So I didn't use it, but I'm still playing around with it a little bit, trying to cut and paste and make it good. So even looking at the bio, keywords for SEO ranking on Google Posts, there's so many different things. I mean, I'm even using it sometimes to communicate to that client that is struggling with maybe a price reduction. You've got a listing and you want to basically let them know, in other words, maybe not so much beat around the bush, but let them know that, you know what, we're overpriced right now. The feedback is stating this stuff. How can I deliver this to my client who is a doctor and really feels like she knows everything about, the real estate market? And I'm telling you guys, what it pops out, be careful that you're not just cutting and pasting and that you're making it your tone. But I've even had successes with that.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Just
absolutely.
communicating with clients sometimes.
It's the process behind things too. It's you know, you're obviously going to humanize it quite a bit and take it and then run with it and actually take the phone
Right.
call yourself. But to give you at least some comfort knowing that what you're saying is proper, you know, it will fit well. You know, the timing of it or maybe things to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
consider. I mean, it is helpful to have a second set of eyes and AI eyes on the equation to see what it's going to do. Um, yeah, and templates too. One of the things that an agent did recently is instead of overthinking it, you know, they're sending out CMAs to close clients and things like that. It's like, I need something to go on it that explains who I am or explains what I can do for them. I'm giving them a gift, in essence, of a
Short,
CMA for
simple.
free. You know, let's
Mm-hmm.
basically figure out what to say, use AI to kind of give me an idea, I'll bullet point some things out, but then it'll give me the content that I can put on a letterhead and put on top of that CMA to better explain the gift. So, I mean, that would have been something that an agent would have obsessed over for a month before it got sent out. So there's no reason to delay on some of that.
Let's see
Question,
here.
a question for you.
Rosanna asks, what's the recommended price point for a monthly budget for AI tools? Being careful not to overspend. Well, I can tell you personally, Rosanna, I'm not paying anything for the AI that I have. I've stuck with the free versions and they get me through. I know some of them I can only do up to like 5 requests a day, but in all honesty, that works. So I'm not paying at all for AI. And I think it's also important to make sure that you're using it for those things that um just time and efficiency. I think that for me is the biggest thing is time and efficiency. I've noticed I get caught up sometimes in certain things that literally should not be taking so much time. It might even be analysis paralysis on a market analysis. Like, I know these things ins and out. Why am I second guessing? Plug the listings into AI and say, hey, help me out here,
Yeah.
So but I don't know. How much are you paying? Are you paying monthly for any services, Shannon or Lisa?
I'd say no. And Lisa, I think active farm, we just need to pay for the farm. Is that correct? I have to remember. Yeah, you're just paying for the farm list and then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we have so many subscriptions. You're using Canva, or you might have Microsoft 360, and a lot of these subscriptions include the other level, the paid level of their AI. So before you go spending money, I would recommend you see what you currently have in your toolbox.
Right. Like even Google, like you send an email, it's got AI components embedded in there too already. It's kind of one of those things. It's not going away. Every technology company is adopting it in some form or fashion. Guy had a good question. Has anyone used AI for a CMA or assistance doing one? I would be careful. That's
I
where,
would be very careful, but yes,
uh,
I have. I will tell you, I have on that one that I got just kind of caught up in analysis paralysis. I just plugged it in, the information that I had just to kind of like help it match me with what I had already come up with,
yeah.
not 100% for a CMA, but to just kind of help me get out of the analysis paralysis that I got into.
Yeah. One thing I've done too, so when you have, this is the thing, the Northwest MLS has so much information, right? If you just, I mean, you get one of those stats, like a graph or something like that, that comes from InfoSparks or something like that. Put that in, you can upload an
Yep.
attachment into ChatGPT and say, can you compare February to March in these 2 zip codes and give me 3 ways to explain the differences to this specific type of buyer in this neighborhood and why this might impact them. It'll give you something that will be very helpful. So that way, if you're worried about, I don't know how to speak to this graph, well, let's at least get some bullet points and you can pick 1 or 2 before you go on your appointment. One last thing I wanted to just speak to, I think for a second. So is authenticity. We've talked about authenticity quite a bit. But one thing that you will beat AI on right now. It does not matter. The technology is still improving, but one thing that you can certainly still beat AI on out are 3 different things: is your storytelling capabilities, your original insights and your opinions that you're forming on content or on data or on things, right? And then your emotions. Real estate is an emotional process. We've all been through the roller coaster, right? So how can we convey that emotion? How can we, mitigate some of those emotions? And you know what I'm talking about. So that way, we can basically help those clients through those tough decisions. I mean, this is where AI can help us, but it's not going to replace us. And so when we have different AI generated type of content and things like that, it's a good start, but it shouldn't be your final ending point. It's important to make it authentic. And I think the new generation of home buyers, they want authenticity. They want as real as you can get. I mean, this is how we're getting stories and stuff on Facebook and Instagram now. They want real. And it's because of there being so much AI driven content that's out there now. It's kind of getting lost in the noise in many cases. So just be mindful of that. Keep it real as much as you can. And it is a tool to help you kind of get through some of the writer's block, some of the analysis paralysis. You shouldn't be stuck there. Yeah, Jason Pantana. Yeah, love Jason Pantana. He's great. From Tom Ferry. He's got some good training that he's done on stuff like that. If you guys want some more information on that. Thanks, Lisa. And moving checklist. Yeah, creating moving checklists, prepping your home. We talked about this in one of our masterminds where it's like, let's create a guide, step by step. Let's do some videos around, the moving checklist or preparing your home checklist and get that stuff posted out there. Let's be a resource. Yeah, love that. Okay, cool. I think we made it through most of everybody's content questions that you guys had on there. Our numbers are here on the screen, and thank you, Lisa, for jumping on. We're really appreciative of your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, this was amazing.